On this episode of Audiobook Club, Bill Bailey gives us a tour of his menagerie.
The pets that I've shared my life with and my wild animal encounters act as waymarkers, points of interest that blink and buzz and glow in my recollection like a festoon of light bulbs strung out on the thread of memory. An errant hound, a kung fu chicken, a laughing parrot. I've lived with all kinds of critters for most of my life. The fun and companionship they bring is undeniable, but animals give us something more. They teach us lessons about loyalty, responsibility, and even loss. They reflect the arc of our own human experience. Our first rescues were a rabbit that no one wanted and a guinea pig that was similarly surplus to requirements. This odd couple of furry cast-offs got on very well and lived quite happily in an enclosure in the garden. Once you venture down this path, a word of warning. Be prepared to get inundated. In no time, the word will be out. Animal, soft touch, go, go, go. In short order, we found ourselves home to a veritable ark of forlorn guinea pigs, oddball cats, stray dogs, and homeless parrots. A bloke turned up at the door with a peacock once. "I heard you look after animals," he said shiftily. "Where'd you get that?" I asked. I found it." "Where?" Just up by the pub." I went inside to phone the RSPCA or find my peacock, I can't recall which. Anyway, he was gone when I re-emerged. Over the years, Chris and I have taken on more animals and found room for them in our house and garden. And before you know it, chickens were in our shower, a chameleon was in the bath, and ducks were under the table. It was a little chaotic at times, but we loved it.
Audiobook Club with Steve Phillips and Matthew Layton.
Hello and welcome to Audiobook Club, the podcast about audiobooks that loves swimming with minke whales but knows that it's a bad idea to get too close to baboons. Joining me as ever for our little trawl through Bill's Ark, I suppose you'd call it, is Matt Layton. Hey Matt, you alright?
I am brilliant, Steve. I'm in Oz still. I have to say, let's get this out of the way first. This book is just a bundle of joy. I know that's the wrong way to use that expression. Bill Bailey's so great. And for me, my favourite animal, as anyone will tell you, is roast chicken. I don't particularly get on with animals, but it's so engaging the way he talks about not only his pets, but animals he's made television programs about. And yeah, he gets in the sea with a minke whale. So yes, against my better judgment and my usual instincts, I've read this book, I've enjoyed it, and this week I saw Michael Eavis's favourite live act ever, the proprietor of Glastonbury. Tuesday night, I saw Primal Scream in a brand new purpose-built venue here in Adelaide. And yeah, when you go to a lot of music venues, you worry if you're going to get out if there's a fire. And this place was not going to catch fire. And if it did catch fire, then we'd have been able to get out. But on top of that, the sound was absolutely phenomenal. So I have had...
Hang on. Whoa. Back the truck up just a bit here. I think this might be more of a social comment on our age more than anything else. Certainly when I was 21, I wasn't necessarily, as I'm sure you weren't, worried about where the fire exits were on this. It was kind of the sound system first, then the fire escapes. I mean, now... I guess if we do this again in 5 years' time and you say I saw Primal Scream, the toilet facilities were absolutely phenomenal in this stadium. Oh, the sound was pretty good too.
Whenever I need a wee and I'm out in town over here, I do tend to head to the shopping centre where I know there is one labelled ambulatory toilet.
Oh, really? Yeah. Is that for ambulance or like ambient music they pump in to help you along?
It's got a picture of a man with a stick.
Oh, no, really?
Like a normal... like a toilet sign man, but with a stick. But, you get a bit more room.
Oh, I see, a walking stick. Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Not an aid, as it were.
No.
Help those stubborn. Anyway, we're straying from the point here.
I love the way you're the one in a hurry.
Oh yes. Well, yeah. Come on.
You've got a deadline this week. Shall we reel ourselves back in?
This is time is of the essence here. Time is of the essence. Is before the top of the hour and the news plays out. That's how podcasts work, isn't it? Yes. So this book, I'm with you. It was an absolute joy from beginning to end. I wasn't. It starts off, much like Bill Bailey is well known for his musicality, isn't it? It starts off. It all starts off like a piece of orchestral music. It starts off nice and quiet, and then it grows and it grows and it goes off in unexpected directions. And that's exactly what this book does. And it's absolutely incredible. It resonated with me so much as well, certainly with looking after animals. But I love the way it started off. Starts off at home. With the domestic pets, the rescue dogs, that sort of thing, the ducks, the chickens. The stories attached to them were just incredible, and then it grows and it grows, and then it becomes famous, even more famous. Starts to do documentaries around the world, wildlife, ends up in Indonesia, in South Africa, all these places. Incredible.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by Indonesia. I think it's the fourth most populous country in the world. So I
want to go to Indonesia now, off the back of this book.
I do too, but I want to see all of Indonesia. Yeah, no, and it has actually. It does. It makes you want to travel, doesn't it? This book.
It does.
You think of Bill Bailey, and your initial thing is, a musical comedian. But my goodness, what a Renaissance man he is, and what a talented man. And I really enjoyed spending 5 hours in his company. And I think this book has encouraged me to want to go to Indonesia, Jakarta. No, she wanted to go.
Just almost Jamaica, wasn't it? Jamaica,
Jakarta. No, I made a walk. We took a tuk-tuk, and it's also made me want to go and listen to his back catalogue.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we'll get into this. Should we introduce the 3-step structure to explain why we like this book so much?
Do let's.
So, as ever, dear listener, it's the author we talk about. Then we talk about the actual book and how good the book is, and then we talk about the performance. We are an audiobook club. Be interested to know your thoughts as well. The audiobook production and performance. Does it bring anything to the party? And what a party! What an author, first of all, then, Matt.
What a party it is, Steve.
What a party. Yeah, a party with 2 people on a podcast. You can't get much more, where are the fire exits? Oh, where are the toilets on this podcast?
Where's the Kung Fu chicken? There is literally a Kung Fu chicken. Bill Bailey is abused by a chicken and nobody believes him. So the author, and I'm going to do this the usual way, Steve, because your knowledge and enthusiasm for British comedy can only be described as encyclopedic and full on. So I'll just give you the briefest of briefs, and I'll let you fill in the gaps. So Mark Robert Bailey, didn't know that till this morning, was born on the 13th of January 1965. Oh, it's his birthday this week, Steve.
Oh, timing.
We've given him a birthday present.
Who would please?
Known professionally. Timing. As Bill Bailey is an English musician, comedian, actor, and television presenter. Do you know what? I'm not going to read any more of that, Steve. I think you can probably take it from there, can't you?
I'll try and keep a time limit on this, because Bill Bailey, I mean, you who hasn't heard of him, really? Certainly in the UK, and certainly has a real affinity for Australia and New Zealand as well. But his I think it's polymath. I mean, vocabulary on this side, this is why we review audiobooks and don't write them, I guess, is, stand up first and foremost is what comes to mind when I think of Bill Bailey. His the musicality of his shows that he does, from introducing Cockney music into classical music with the Have a Banana in the Moonlight Sonata or whatever it was. But 15 or so major sort of world tours, if you like. Then also, he was in Black Books, he was in Spaced, he was in all kinds of movies. Hot Fuzz is mentioned in the book, but he's got a huge he's got a huge filmography, and of course documentaries as well. It's not just all comedy, it's all the serious stuff too, especially with the animals are involved.
May I back up your truck for a change?
Please do.
And go back to his stand-up. And the golden age of British stand-up comedy, the bit where it all emerged was the 1980s, where what was then called alternative comedy kicked off. And we got a whole new generation of people who were in their 20s at the time and now, like Mr. Bailey himself, are in their 60s. But the thing that made him stand out, and remember, you say everybody's familiar with this in England, and yes, certainly here in Australia. Whenever I've mentioned I'm doing this book to anybody this week, they've gone, oh yeah, he's touring here in October. In fact, I told my neighbour Chris that he couldn't go and see Bill Bailey live unless he came to Dizzy Rascal with me. He didn't like that.
What a trade-off.
But the thing about Bill Bailey, taking it back to basics, is we all first encountered him standing on the stage with a synthesizer, doing clever things with music that we wish we could all do, and being funny at the same time. So he set out doing I think it was a literature degree, according to this book, and he ended up going up and down Britain's motorways in the dead of the night with his keyboard in the back of his car, and doing, as you say, funny jokes where he combines classical music with modern cultural references. And I was trying to explain it to my 13-year-old daughters yesterday. Strangely, because he's been so successful since, to find him doing Aren't the ambulance and police sirens in France a bit sad?
Oh yes, I remember that one. Yeah.
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find any of those. The basics. I think it is time for somebody to put together a YouTube playlist of everything Bill Bailey did between 1992 and 2001. Before he started being an actor and there was him at the Edinburgh Tattoo, and there was him at a Royal Variety performance with a full choir and a marching band. And actually, I just wanted to show the girls him doing funny stuff with a keyboard, some of which you go, oh, I'd thought of that, I'd noticed that. But of course, he has A, the musical talent, and B, the comedy chops to be able to combine those two things. I should imagine that his fellow comedians, where they all travel up and down the motorway in beaten up old cars going to gigs, I should imagine the other people in the car with him who were also performing on the stage at the beginning of their careers, I should imagine some of them were a little bit miffed or jealous that he had that level of talent. Does that make sense?
It does completely. It just when he arrived on the scene, and he just offers something that no one else does at all. And actually, just to bring it back to the animals, he was introducing animals into those musical sets as well in his stand-up. And one that really stands out to me was when he talks about the trumpet that is used at a fox hunt by the fox hunters in their red jackets and so on. And he said, the best way to sabotage, I think I'm paraphrasing his act here because it was a long time ago, so I listened to it. I'm so sorry if you're listening. He won't be listening, obviously. He'll never listen. But basically, he said, the best way to sabotage a fox hunt is to put a mute over the trumpet, which may, instead of a da-da-da-da-da, it basically will make it a little bit more suspicious, like a Scooby-Doo cartoon, and it'll be da-da-da-da-da, and the fox will pick up on that, and he'll have it away on his toes. I mean, so it's those sort of examples. That's just one of many, to be honest. Where he brings, as far as I remember, he brings animals into. He's always mentioning referencing animals, using them as an analogy as well throughout his stand up too.
Yeah. So the Bill Bailey that I know, I don't associate him with animals, and as I say, the bit where he's firmest on in my mind is, funnily enough, he was on Nevermind the Buzzcocks, wasn't he? Which is the UK satirical pop music quiz thing that became an institution and has now disappeared. And yeah, it's just the animal thing is not something I knew about him. But again, partly because I'm ignorant and partly because I cannot stand nature documentaries.
Oh, really?
Blooming David, and this is where we're going to get cancelled.
We're going to have an argument on air for the first time.
Yeah. It's all in the spring. In the spring, they fall out the blooming nest. Then they grow up a bit and learn to walk on their own 2 feet. And then in autumn, they're all the same. Whatever. I cannot. I don't like animals. Funnily enough, there's a clip in this book where Bill Bailey mentions that he had an incident when he was very young. His first encounter with a dog was he was toddling along minding his own business. And he got knocked over by the dog. And he's a much better human being than I am, as are most of the people we talk about on this show. And his reaction was to then be intrigued by animals and feel sorry for the dog. I have a similar traumatic incident in my life. And remembering I can't see very well. And I was minding my own business. And there was a barking noise. I got knocked over by a dog. I wasn't with my parents, I was with somebody else, and my hand landed in some dog mess. We were 20 minutes from home, and nobody had a tissue. And since that moment, if I hear a barking dog, I still jump. I know you're the opposite, aren't you?
Yeah, it's so weird. Well, not really. I mean, essentially, until I was, I don't know, 30. I don't know. I wasn't really, didn't really have animals in my life at all. Never looked after anything bigger than a hamster. I guess I was brought up to be not be completely scared of dogs, but
you have to be careful. How did you look after this hamster?
Actually, this is a sad story. I'll put the Simon Bates Ouchie music underneath it. But essentially, what happened was the heating had gone off one day during the summer, and my hamster thought it was time to hibernate and starved herself to death.
Sorry.
That's the end of the anecdote. I know. Yeah. So I actually tore me apart, that one. Oh, I couldn't deal with it. Yeah.
You know the bit before we came on where you were talking about, we need to find other presenters and bring new voices into the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that laugh at your dead hamster might push that up our agenda a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not very fashionable to not like animals. It's not acceptable. I do lots of unacceptable things on this podcast, but I think that is probably the most unacceptable of all.
Yeah. Matt Layton hates animals. I mean, that's just it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Anyway,
should we bring back the funny? I'm gonna. This week I have. I've just. Normally the clips are numbered in a certain order and it's all very organised. But I just pulled some stuff out that made me laugh. Fancy a laugh, Steve?
Go on, press play.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall later that night as he sat round in some fox's hideout behind the bins in a Tesco car park. So, tell me again, you were attacked by a rabbit? Yeah. Traditionally, foxes prey? Yeah, but I'm telling you, this thing was massive. Took me right out. I went flying across the garden. Wait, you telling me a rabbit did this? Yeah, a massive white rabbit. You sure, Gavin? You've been licking those hallucinogenic toads again? No, I swear, this rabbit, it was a beast, like it's been working out, doing jiu-jitsu or something. What, like sort of Jason Statham of rabbits? Yeah. Gavin's lost it. And all the assembled foxes make chicken noises.
The Jason Statham of rabbits.
I love his storytelling, particularly about his dogs. And this is what really resonated with me when he talked about Actually, I need to pause things for a minute. He had a dog, and I can't remember the name of the dog, but the dog, I think it was Tiger.
It doesn't matter, Steve. No, you don't have to pause things for...
No, it does. It's important.
No, to you animal people...
I think it was his dog, Tiger.
It was a dog.
I think it was...
It was a dog, as far as I'm concerned. You carry on.
I'm cutting this out. I'm not having this level of...
I'm editing this week.
Oh, are you really? Oh, no.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, no.
I'll do it. You're not cutting this out.
I've really got... What shall I say? I love this. I think it was Tiger, his dog, and who had a propensity to go walkabout, basically, and he ended up sort of going right across West London to Ealing Broadway, where he got picked up, sort of dishevelled and everything. There was even worse story as well, but everything fine in the end. But it just reminded me so much of my dogs, and I'd be out there Epping Forest at night because you have to walk them in the dark after work, and you have your headlamp on and everything. Just you have 3 dogs at the time, and 2 of them always gave you cause on occasion to come back from a walk 3 hours later, ashen-faced, needing a whiskey, because my dog Holly, who I still got here, went down a disused badger set. Couldn't get her out. The ranger turned up from the local council with a fork and a spade, and I think you need a JCB to dig her out of that one. And my other one, all sorts of stories. If she found a monkjack carcass, that was it. Basically, she'd be away. She would be away. You wouldn't see her for ages, and you'd be calling and all sorts. It was just, the feeling you get when your dog runs away like that and you don't know where they are. It's the worst feeling in the world, and the relief when they come back is just, there's nothing like it. But frankly, you do need a stiff drink, and I'd be very surprised if Bill Bailey didn't have that when he'd found his dog.
You see, I find life difficult enough already. I can mess things up and get lost for 3 hours without the aid of a dog. So it's just the level of...
I was just say, the dog got lost, not the human, I should say.
Well, I lost my daughters once when they were 2.5. That was that was painful. Fortunately, I found them, and they were holding hands and looking after each other. So that's really nice.
Oh, that's nice. Survival. They needed survival instinct either at 2.5 because their dad walked off somewhere and forgot.
Because their dad was me.
Bless them. They're doing very well, by the way, listeners. Now,
I don't think we are going to. I don't think we're going to get any more trouble for me losing my children than my disdain for David Attenborough. I think that's the one that's going to get me to more trouble.
Oh, I can't believe you said that. No, he's a living legend.
All right, let's try and get it back in. Steve, you know what? For a while, I love your proper broadcasting stuff that you do because of your long career at the BBC. And it's time to bring some
career, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's stubbornness more than anything else. Would you do me the enormous favour of going as far into the book blurb that I've pasted into the script as possible, so that it feels like we're a proper podcast again?
Of course, this is in his first memoir. Yeah.
Do you want to do? You're going to do your.
I'll do the
warm up. Do the warm-up exercises first, if you want. Good.
Matt Layton hates animals. Right, okay, here we go. In his first memoir, beloved comedian and national treasure Bill Bailey shares stories of his life and the animals he's met along the way. Bill Bailey has always had dogs, including a Patterdale Terrier called Rocky, who would travel with him in the van to his first shows and occasionally join him on stage. Fast forward a few decades and Bill has shared his home with a variety of birds, dogs, frogs, chameleons and an armadillo called Tommy. We even had a giant chicken, a huge Malay cockerel called Kid Creole. After a few standoffs he took against me. He had to go in the end. I was being stalked in my own back garden. Said Bill. That chicken apart, animals have always been at the heart of an extraordinary life as one of the nation's favourite comedians, actors, musicians and, thanks to Strictly, dancers. From terriers to the orangutans of Sumatra and the parrots that share his breakfast every morning in West London, full of the left-field humour, wit and wisdom that has made Bill Bailey such a beloved performer around the world. My Animals and Other Animals is the story of Bill's life, but much more than that. It's the story of how all our lives are enriched by the animals who accompany us on that journey. Take heed, Layton, with that last sentence. Get an animal.
Good. All right. That's that box ticked. So we can't be accused of not having done the book. The next thing, but because we haven't really been doing our job very well. We may have meandered a little bit this time. So okay. The next thing we do is we move on to, does the audiobook bring anything to the party? In order to demonstrate that it does, I am going to play you the clip that has actually nothing to do with animals in this book, but does illustrate just how good a performer and how lucky we are that Mr. Bailey took the time to read his own audiobook.
During lockdown, I was doing some shopping for a neighbour who I had always thought was a quiet, introverted type. I never saw him with a goose, but I imagined that if I did, he'd never say boo to it. One afternoon, I went round to drop off the shopping, rang the doorbell and retreated the required 2 meters. He took a while answering, then only opened the door a crack, though enough for me to see that he was dressed as a 1980s sitcom fortune teller. He had a patterned red bandana wrapped around his head. He wore a bright yellow ruched shirt with a brown velvet jacket, and a large gold hoop dangled from his left ear. "You all right, Stuart?" I said. Stuart shifted awkwardly on the platform shoes I'd just noticed. "I'm just in the middle of something." We have never spoken about this in the years since, and the moment to do so has long gone.
For some reason, when I heard that in the book and listening to it again, it just made me think of you, Steve.
Oh, thanks. That's very kind. That's very kind.
It wouldn't surprise me if you turned up dressed as Ali Bongo at some point. And
Ali Bongo? Oh, wow, there's a blast from the past.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah.
But okay,
now there's a magician.
So we're meant to be talking about does the audiobook bring anything to the party? And of course, Bill Bailey is used to standing on a stage, and his shows, they're not improv, although I'm sure a lot of bits are improvised, but mainly he knows how to write and he knows how to express things. He does the accent, sorry. He's, just, there's 40 years in that, 40 years of a professional comedian and musician, I hear, in the way that is written, the way that it is read. And if you go back and listen to it again, his use of silence is also phenomenal. The timing, the way he keeps you hanging on the edge for a quarter of a second too long. I think undoubtedly this production brings something, the audiobook part of it brings something to the party. I wouldn't want to read the old traditional book version of it, because I think you'd be missing out. I think you're in fact, everything you just said there, absolute ditto. Plus he also sent me on about half an hour of watching cockatoo talking videos, because you cannot beat that. You cannot beat that if you've not done that. If you want to feel good in the morning, if you're a bit down, then just tap in just cockatoos talking, and they're just amazing. They're amazing birds. I really want a cockatoo, that's not a joke, by the way, Matt. I'd love to have a cockatoo, but good. Can we get back to this audiobook, please? Focus. You've got to go in a minute. Yes, there we go. Your girlfriend's going on holiday. Okay, so I've got one final observation to make, and that is watching Bill Bailey on YouTube, as I did to try and show the kids, and also for my own sake. I just suddenly realised that normally when we hear Bill Bailey, he is on stage addressing an audience. And the fascinating thing here was that actually he wasn't doing his stage shouty voice. He was doing his read a book into a microphone voice. And I thought he sounded quite different. I thought, and I liked it. Strangely, it really reminded me of the bits of that book, Me, the Elton John autobiography, where Elton John was reading. But Bill Bailey does it better. His pacing is phenomenal. His accents are great. I think this is already up for performance of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we were talking about this audiobook in December, Steve.
Wow. That for January, that's pretty. 2 weeks into January, we might have found our book of the year. That's incredible. He has got one other book out, by the way, which is Bill Bailey's Remarkable Guide to Happiness, which he does indeed narrate. It's not his first rodeo, this one. That was out in 2022. So it's his second, I think, well, it's at least second book from what I can see here. There may well be, I'm sure there are more. But yeah, what a cracking read. And it's time now to go into the rivers of London next week again, Matt, for next week's book.
Yeah, obviously you've forgotten. I doubt if you'll remember this book in December, because you seem to have forgotten that we're meant to invite people to interact with us at this point and say what they thought of the book. But I'll let you off.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, Rivers of hashtag audiobook club. Everybody, it's not that hard. You know the drill.
I actually do it at the end of everything. That's if you've been listening to our show, I do it. Yeah.
Do you? Okay. Well, I've done an extra one there. Okay, I've messed it up.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so plug the tag. That's good.
Shame we don't get on. Right. So yes, Rivers of London series. We've interviewed the author of this amazing series of books, Ben Aronovich. It starts out as it has one foot in the police procedural world and in modern London, and 1 week in a world, 1 foot in a world where ghosts exist. I've been enjoying these. It's one of the first audiobook series that I got into. I love them dearly. There is a new one out. Funnily enough, this is a weird thing, Steve. I pre-ordered the book and missed it when it landed in my Audible app. My friend, my Adelaide friend Jane from over the road, who often gets a mention on this podcast, she sent me a message yesterday saying, "Is this any good?" And I went, "I can't remember. I don't know." So yeah, another little maybe disadvantage with getting my stuff through the Audible app is that I don't necessarily see it. It may be my personal incompetence. When a title I've pre-ordered comes through, it doesn't exactly drop on the doormat in this case. But the book is The Masquerades of Spring. It's by Ben Aronovich. It's a standalone book. Cobner Holbrook Smith, the incredible narrator, is re-engaged after a couple of books off. And it's set in New York in the 1920s, not London in the 21st century. So as part of our bit where we try and crawl to get Ben Aronovich to come and be a guest on our show again, I think we should have a look at this one next week, Steve, and send him and ask him if he'll come on.
That's it. A nice begging. I think we've done the begging letter right there, haven't we? God, please, Ben, for the love of God, come on.
Come back.
Okay, that's next week's book then. The Masquerades of Spring by Ben Aronovich, narrated, as Matt said, by Codner Holbrook Smith. 4 hours and 34 minutes. Quick one, that one. It's by Orion, out of Orion Publishing. And you were listening to My Animals and Other Animals, a memoir of sorts by Bill Bailey, read by Bill Bailey. 5 hours and 3 minutes, published by Querkus. As Matt mentioned earlier on, we would love to hear from you. What are you reading at the moment that you think we should be reading and everyone else should be reading? And what do you think of these two books as well, Masquerades of Spring and also My Animals and Other Animals? The hashtag is Audio Book Club. We are on Audiobook Show on Instagram and on Blue Sky, as well as Facebook. I think we have an X account, which we haven't updated for a little while, but we are there nonetheless. So yeah, let's hear your thoughts, and we'll look forward to seeing you again same time next week. Until then, take good care of yourselves and each other.
Audiobook Club with Steve Phillips and Matthew Layton.
Very good.
Though, why I did the Jerry Springer thing there at the end, I have no idea.
I don't care. It was great.